Shout out Bruce Gas, aka Toka 2. You know I had to drop a track with my boy.
Where you at?
Yeah, video rapping boys out here telling fake. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, Bruce Gas putting them fights on the table. I'm calling that boxing since Kane versus Abel. Spoke with Bruce Gas, you would think that shit was fake. He was champion like Muhammad Ali. Shut up, Bruce Gas. One day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down. We gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down. Take a hit out the Toka 2. Flipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with a little block on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shut up, man. It's real shit. That's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the pan. Straps my side, I ain't talking about no sand. Bruce pass me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Hey, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like Bruce Gas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this the fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're from. This is Bruce Gas talking some boxing over here. Straighten out this straighten out my communication system here. And I want to get myself on StreamYard and YouTube, and I'm gonna make sure it's going through here. Hey, my brother Wheelchair John, how we doing, man? Make sure we get you as a moderator in here. John always comes through, man. He's always a good man. Aaron Parker, bro, another one, man. Thank you guys for stopping in here. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it more than you know. But anyway, man, you know, tomorrow is a big day, bro. Yankee Kyle, my brother, thank you for coming in. In fact, let me shout out, because you know I appreciate anybody that stops in here, man. You know, it's an honor for anybody who knows boxing to come in here and listen to what I know about boxing, man. Because I appreciate the knowledge that's out there, and you know, when I see one or two people coming in here, man, to say hi to Bruce Gas, man, you know, it makes me happy. It gives me a warm feeling inside, man. My brother, the drunk Irishman, Carlos Mendoza, the first one in here, man. Aaron Parker, appreciate it, man. My brother Martin Dunstan, man. Salute to you, man, from across the pond. 306 from the sticks, bro. Thank you much for coming in, man. My brother Wheelchair John. Salute, man. Yankee Kyle. My man Reggie Owens, brother. Salute to you, man. Cool Breeze. Hey, man. Angry Mexican, bro. Angry Mexican. Thank you, my brother, for coming in here, man. We definitely will tighten you up, because, hey, I don't want anybody getting timed out in here. I don't time anybody out, and the only way we can do that is by making sure you all got your blue armor on. So we're gonna give that to you. But anyway, man, I get up today and I go look on my camera, on my notifications and stuff, and I see Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson. And I said, whoa. So I had to look into this, and this is put out by ESPN. So this is an official fight, man. This is all set for July 20th. I thought it was going to be on April 20th, man. I thought it was going to be head to head with Ryan and Devin for a second. But then I looked up a little more. I woke up a little more. In fact, you know, I got the vape, man. That's been my thing for the last couple of weeks, bro. I like vaping. And hey, I'm on Facebook too, man. I've been putting my shit out on there, and my brother Jay Cotto's out there, man. Thank you for watching me on Facebook. I kind of like to get this media saturated. You know, I want to get like my brother Reggie Owens. I want to be a 7-figure guy out here, man. And hey, The only way we can do it is with the help of my brothers and my sisters out there and tuning in. See, you know what I do? I share a lot of, I go on a lot of shows and I share them with my channel. So I don't get any watch hours for that. But I mean, I go on some good ones. On Sunday night, I go on with these OGs from over at J Hardcores. And, you know, I share it with mine. And I get a lot of views, but I don't get the watch hours. So, you know, what I have to do is I have to do things like this to get my watch hours. So I'll eventually get that famous monetization that everybody's looking for out here on YouTube. You know, not that I'm looking to make any money, because believe me. First of all, I can't make any more money. It's a long story, but making money on here is just not my thing, bro. And everybody else is doing that. Let them do that, man. I'll donate to other cats. But Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. See, I said weeks ago, I said Deontay Wilder should fight Jake Paul. This is an era where we're out for the bag, bro. See, nobody cares about belts anymore. They don't care about unifying divisions. They don't even care about legacy. They want to make that life change. My old lady running in the background there. So she doesn't like to be on scene, but hey, man, you know, I do this in my living room. On my couch, I got my pictures of my G's up on the wall. I got a few posters back there. I got the face of boxing. If you can dig that, man, the face of boxing should be on a Wheaties box. And there ain't been no face of boxing in my opinion. It's just Muhammad Ali. LeRon, my brother, appreciate you in here, man. Mr. Pads, man. I think Mr. Pads was the first cat that came in my live chat when I started about a little over 2 years ago. And my brother Jay Cotto, man, salute, man. Appreciate you coming in here. All the rage, George Page. Hey, what do you cats think about this, man? Because like I said earlier, it's all about the bag. You know, Mike Tyson, he's got plenty of dough, man. He's in the gas community. He's making a lot of dough out there. And what do we? When we think of smoking them blunts and boxing, we automatically think of Mike Tyson. And anyway, man, you know, Jake Paul got a huge mansion down in Puerto Rico. He had a fight last weekend. It was a crazy card. It went head to head with that featherweight double-header that we saw on his own. And Amanda Serrano had to pull out with an eye injury. And it was just Jake Paul. Jake Paul fought this character, man. His name was Ryan Ruland. Knocked him out in the first round. It was absolutely not a contest. You know, I was watching the zone card, and you know, when it's boxing on, I'm gonna catch as much as I can. So I had two screens going. And the Jake Paul card out down in Puerto Rico, it was a shit show. I don't know what they accomplished with it, but see, it's boxing today. It's not. We don't see boxing like we used to see back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, even I'm totally the last few years now we see this celebrity boxing. And that music's not too loud in the background. I like having something bopping back there, something I won't get shut down by playing. And this is some pretty cool non-copyrighted stuff I found on YouTube that you can play. And I don't want to play it too loud as to disturb our show. Turn it down as much as I can. Yeah, you got that right. The best really fight the best anymore. But see, this is why it's celebrity world out there. And I said it a few weeks ago. I said I think Deontay Wilder should go fight Jake Paul. Make that big buck. Make that big dollars. And if Jake Paul wants to be taken legitimately, he's got to fight some legitimate boxers. And it's like every boxer in the world, every heavyweight in the world right now seems to be tied up, whether it's tied up legally or tied up contractually. And they have fights that are going to happen. I mean, shit, tomorrow. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to go to Saudi Arabia, bro. I'm going to stop my live at around noon time. I'm going to call these fights because this keeps the brain sharp. It's what I'd be doing anyway. And if I can have a half dozen people or so in here digging on it with me, man, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. And we have the ability to share it over here on these platforms. So it's kind of what I like to do. And let's get back to Mike Tyson, man. I mean, Mike Tyson, I watched Mike Tyson from the beginning. I first saw him probably in, I'm going to guess it was probably 1985. He fought a guy named Donnie Long on ESPN, knocked him out in the first round. And this was what Tyson did in the beginning of his career. He was a first round knockout artist. As a matter of fact, yesterday was the anniversary of his debut with Sterling Benjamin, I believe, knocked him out in the first round. And I don't want to miss those comments either. Bruce Gadd's boxing jazz and more. Not even on the worst day, Jake Paul can beat Mike Tyson. I kind of agree with that. We put these up here too, because I have this ability, man. Bruce, this card has some quality fights on it. I mean, look at Tonka Zhang 1. It has rematch clause on it. A lot of people are 50-50 on the outcome. Oh yeah, Mr. Pat, tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow I am so looking forward to that whole card. Tyson Fury's younger brother Roman is on the card. We're gonna have Mark Lorena, is that his name? Anyway, man, it's a heavyweight. He's fighting with the undefeated Aussie. I'm sure my brother Carl Hansen, man, the Crocodile Kid himself is going to be tuning into that one. And let's look at the two bouts that we're all talking about, man. You know, we're gonna have Zhili Zhang and Joe Parker. That's an interesting fight right there, man. Joe Parker's coming off that amazing upset of Deontay Wilder. And you know, Zhili Zhang, man, the big bang, the big Chinaman, bro. He's something else, man. 40 years old. He's huge. What is he? I don't know, 6'7", some crazy height like that. He's one of those giant super heavyweights. And he's a southpaw. You get that left hand that travels down the pike. And I don't know if Joseph Parker's gonna handle those very well. Joseph Parker's gonna have to crowd him. The Bud File, salute, man. Peace. Joseph Parker is going to have to crowd Zhili Zhang. He's going to have to get inside. He's going to have to stay away from that long, straight left hand that could bust it up Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is another one, man. A wasted career, from what I can see. He had an amazing spot. I mean, the guy was light on his feet, knocking everybody out, but he was slow, and he was exposed by Joyce. And now he's fighting somebody named Catch Ali coming up in another week or so. But you know, it's all tomorrow, bro. It's all about the card tomorrow. Tomorrow's event in Saudi is very good. They do not play well. Now, boxing is it's not a game that we play anyway, man. Boxing is a serious sport. But I mean, let's go to Saudi tomorrow, man. Like I said, I can't wait for that fight. And I think Zhili Zhang, I think he's going to be able to push Parker on the outside. Parker's going to have to cut the ring off. I don't think he's got the strength and the ability to keep Zhili Zhang on the outside and keep him confused, and that's what Parker has to do. You gotta get him to back up. And I think Zhang is just gonna come straight ahead. And he's that big left hand, man, whoosh, right down the pike. It's like a telephone pole swinging at you. And I don't think Joseph Parker's gonna be able to handle that. So I'm kind of predicting the 8th, 9th round stoppage for Zhili Zhang. But all in all, should be a really decent fight. And then, man, you know, the Ngannou and the Anthony Joshua fight. Hashface, my brother, salute, man. I'm looking at that one like this, man. See, with Francis Ngannou, he's got one speed. He's a go forward fighter, man. And, I don't think he has a plan B. I think when he gets put on the back foot, when he gets his back foot towards the ropes, I don't think he's going to be able to handle Deontay Wilder's pressure. So that's what Deontay Wilder has to do. He has to meet pressure, with skilled pressure. He has to shoot that jab. He has to get the respect of Francis Ngannou. And this is his key for victory. Now, Nagano, huge individual, very tough. He's actually the lineal UFC champ because he was never beaten for his title. So, it could, the whole card, it could go 50-50. That's what I love about heavyweight boxing. You know, anything can happen. It only takes one punch, and especially look at what Nagano did to Tyson Fury. He put him down, but he couldn't finish him off. Now does Anthony Joshua have the recuperative powers that Tyson Fury has? You know, Tyson Fury goes down, but he gets up. Anthony Joshua, we found out when he gets hurt bad, he doesn't always get up. I mean, he's got an amazing record. He's only got the defeats to Ruiz and to Alexander Usyk. But I don't know if he's ever been hit by anybody as hard as Nagano punches. Hey, Demetrius Bright, my brother. Salute, man. Salute to you, bro. Yeah, I watched an interview with Spencer Brown, Fury's manager, and said Conor Benn, Eubank Jr., Pacquiao, great former boxers, and many would be in attendance. Oh yeah, there's one thing about those Saudis, bro. They bring everybody there. They make an event out of it. I mean, dude, when they had the big heavyweight extravaganza, everybody was there, man. Everybody was there, and they pay well too, man. My friend Tim Witherspoon, he was invited out there. That's when he burnt his hand when his daughter spilled the chicken grease on his hand. Looked like he had a glove on his hand. It was a huge hematoma there, man. It was a big blister. And anyway, he had to bow out. But they're bringing in celebrities. You know, they're doing it up right. And every fighter that I talked to, they would go there in a minute. And you know who I think should go there, man? I think Johnny Rice should come out of retirement and shoot for that rematch with Guido Vanelli. Is that his name, man? The Italian dude that he knocked out. And Vanelli's on a hot streak. Vanelli's got a fight coming up, man. He's in the mix. He's doing things where Johnny Rice, man, a lot of talent, especially in this not so talent-ridden heavyweight division. So Johnny Rice, man, if you're out there, cool breeze, salute, bro. If you're out there, man, pay attention, man. Get your management to get you out of retirement, get you back in shape. You know, you're a fluid boxer, you're slick and you got power, and you could make a statement in here, man. And I've seen you on there. I talked to you, man. You're a cool dude. You deserve a lot more in this game of boxing than it's given you, man. You fought everybody. You don't complain about anything, man. Well, come on, time to make a statement. The Saudis are paying well. But Mike Tyson, man, I guess Mike Tyson, he saw the dough out there to be made in celebrity boxing. He fought Roy Jones, and on the undercard, I believe that was Jake Paul's debut in boxing. And Mike Tyson said, he goes, I'm the one who started it with Jake Paul, and I'm going to end it with Jake Paul. Is this real stuff, or is this just a sell the fight? I don't know, man. Boxing is a business, but I think it's going to sell because a lot of people have never seen Mike Tyson in the ring. You know, maybe they saw the Tyson and Roy Jones exhibition, but this is going to be. It's boxing. It's what we love to watch, and all our streaming today, man. Anybody who pays for this stuff, they got more money than brains and stuff. I'm concerned. I don't know if you're supporting the boxers, if you're supporting the white collar industry, which is just grown expeditiously, as they say. As my boy manager Marty says, but boxing's in a whole different world than it used to be. See, Mike he's not going to hurt himself. Is that my brother Skywalker in here? Yeah, Skywalker, man. How you doing, my man? Is it raining out there at work? Are you working today, brother? If anybody wants to stop in here and give their opinions on this, man, I got no problem with that. We'll drop a link out here and see if anybody wants to stop in. Skywalker's out there washing them windows, and man, that's a job. That's a job that takes a lot of balls, bro. This dude's up hundreds of feet in the sky. His only safety net is the cables, and he has to make sure they're tied on there himself. It's crazy, bro. We're not getting the fights we want. That's why MMA is getting so popular. All the raids, George Page. See, I'm just not into MMA. I watch it, but I'm not a fan. I probably couldn't tell you 5 MMA participants off the top of my head right now, man. I do watch it when there's no boxing around, but there's so much in boxing, especially the new stuff. See, I forget really fast these days. I don't know if it's because of these vape pens or if it's because the old brain at 69 years old isn't quite the sponge that it was at 39 years old or 29 or whatever, man. Not so much in my teen years. I didn't do very well in high school. But in college, I aced it. I mean, I graduated on a dean's list, a junior college anyway. I didn't go to 4 years college, but see, it's all a sense of applying yourself. You have to see your mind has to be compartmentalized. So you have to have one area for this, one area for that, one area for this. And this is how it works for me anyway. But man, I'll tell you, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up, and I hope it's not raining out. I want to go for a nice long walk. I got my miles in from my Google Maps. I did 57 miles last month. Well, I only drove 24 miles, but I walked for 57 miles. So it's a good thing, and I like to walk because it keeps me healthy. Hey, my brother, rolling with the punches, man. Rolling with the punches. Shout out to you, brother. But yeah, man, I think walking is a great exercise. Gets a lot of fresh air in me, man. I get to see people out there. And first thing I ask him is, you watching the fights tomorrow? What fights? And I'm like, what fights? What fights? Man, this is my world, and welcome to it. And if I bore you with it, it is what it is, bro. Which I said I wasn't going to use anymore. Everybody uses that little phrase. And it's a weird sounding phrase, man. I guess that's Bill Belichick's vernacular. These vapes are a weird thing, man. I got the flower at my disposal. I have a half dozen different varieties in my humidor. But since I got my hands on these bad boys, and they've been around for a long time, I just never get into them. I found an offer I couldn't refuse, and I tried one. Hey, man. Hey, I got my brother all the rage, George Page, coming up here with me. You put him up here, man. Let me
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Bruce.
Hey, my brother, Joel and Ray's George Page. Thank you much for coming up here, man.
Yeah, good thing. I was just like, I saw your story. I feel like Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson, Money Mike Tyson is gonna fight Disney Jake Paul. Oh, God, I grew up in the Mike Tyson era. Remember when he started? He was like 18. He's already knocking guys out, and he missed the Olympics because I think he lost by judging. And then, he takes, and I know yesterday was the day we knocked the guy out. That's almost 40 years ago. And I know Mike's about 60, but still.
He's 57.
Yeah. Still, Jake Paul, he's going to murk that boy. He's going to murk him. If he gets back into I know he's not as fast like he used to be, but he still has that level of power. I mean, one time, this was I was watching this 60-minute special. It had Muhammad Ali on there, and this was about 20 years ago. And he was in the age when he was in his he started going through the with the Parkinson's and stuff like that, where he couldn't. It was a part where he was punching the punching bag, and he was bam, 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 bam. He stopped. He was shaking, but you can see he still had that muscle memory for all the years of boxing. Now, Mike, I know last time he fought against Roy Jones Jr. and that was just a toss-up fight. That was back a couple of years ago. I'm telling you, that boy's going. If that boy don't get beat up for the first 2 rounds, or he's gonna get knocked out in the first round.
I saw Tyson when he was teaching Francis Ngannou when he was training him, and he looks good, man. He looks, I mean, he's almost 60 years old, granted, but he's still tough. And do you think this is going to be a legitimate fight? Do you think him and Jake Paul are really going to go at it, or do you think it's going to be a joke?
Well, Jake Paul, he's been doing pretty good because, like I said, I follow Mano Serrano. I'm a fan of Mano Serrano. I hate that he didn't get to fight this weekend. And they've been doing good work. Even though I'm not a fan of Jake Paul per se, but what he's been doing for boxing is a little bit pretty good. He's also he calls out Dana White. No, sorry, I don't call him that. I call him Dana White beater. He calls him out on his BS about how he doesn't pay MMA fighters. The thing is you talk about how boxing has fallen off because the fact is that we're not getting the fights we're supposed to get. We should have been the Wilder versus Anthony Joshua a long time ago. I think some other fights should have happened because most times some of these fighters don't want to fight for legacy anymore. They just want to fight for cash. I say you want to make money, but we want to see the fights we want to see. Like always, there's talk about there was never Roy Jones Jr. versus James Toney too. That could have been a great fight. I think everybody talking about this guy was Gonzaga who beat Roy Jones. He didn't fight Antonio Tarver. He most time fighting over in UK instead of fighting here in this, taking the chance to come take all these fights in the States. I mean, it's just that's why I do a lot of content on MMA more than I talk about boxing because they give the fights we get. We got a fight coming up this weekend. I think a UC event, and it's just I don't know. You understand what I'm talking about, sir?
Oh, absolutely, bro. The thing with me, I don't get into UFC. I just don't follow it. Too much love for boxing. Hey man, let me shout out my brother Everything Boxing coming in, man. Shout out to you, brother. And I think I saw the Red Glove Militant. Yeah, he's out there, man. Thank you for coming by, man. And I see my brother Just Dude, bro. One of my favorite channels out there, man. Shout out to Just Dude Boxing. And hey, you're right. The thing is, we don't get throughout history. There's always fights that we don't get. There's always somebody that they're gonna say they ducked them. They avoided them throughout their career. But now, in this day and era, we're seeing too much of that. It's more the norm than it is the exception. It's the rule where like you said, bro, it's not about legacy. It's not about belts. It's not about winning a division. It's about the money, and it's about name recognition. Like we're seeing two of the biggest names in boxing today would be Jake Paul and would be Mike Tyson. And when they get these two cats in the ring together, I mean, the non-boxing fans, they make up the majority of people who buy these fights. The real boxing fans, we're looking at it, with a nod and a wink. It's like, yeah, okay, we'll watch it if that's what you're going to give us. But I mean, I don't know anybody in their right mind, a boxing fan, who's going to pay for that fight.
Well, his thing is it's like with the with football now. Football kind of fell off, but then since Taylor Swift started dating Kelsey, people pay more attention to it. The non-football fans, after the whole thing with the Colin Kaepernick, where they kind of lost a lot of fans because the fact was what they did, against him, and then with Taylor Swift coming in, who's very popular, I think they said they cut 2 minutes out of Usher's halftime show just to look at Taylor Swift. But it's about bringing in those fans that are not traditional fans. Like I said again, I don't watch football much like I used to when I was younger. I mean, it kind of fall off for me. I'm not as into it like I used to be. But if you could get some people that can give it attention, like I do content on bodybuilding, and one thing that's a lot of talk of is The Rock. He's coming back. He's wrestling again. Him and his cousin Roman Reigns. And there was talk about him maybe getting part in bodybuilding because he's a big celebrity. Or also who just had a birthday yesterday, Shaq. Shout out to Shaq. Big fan of Shaquille O'Neal. He was at the last big bodybuilding event, was the Olympia. He was there. If you get these mainstream fans, who are people who are celebrities into the sport, people will follow it because they'll follow them. It's about popularity than anything.
Exactly, my brother George. You know what they call that? They call that selling the sizzle and not the steak. It's like you're selling the fanfare, you're selling the excitement. But when it comes right down to the actual event itself, it's meh. I mean, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul in the ring going at it. Do we really think that Jake Paul has a chance? I mean, maybe Mike Tyson is old, but I've seen him sparring. I've seen him with his shirt off. He looks pretty damn good, man. He looks like he could have no problem with somebody like Jake Paul, who doesn't have the greatest boxing background. So like you said, it's a show that they're selling. We're selling it not so much for the athletic competition, but it's an event. I mean, this fight's at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. How many fans does that stadium hold? 60,000, some crazy number like that?
I don't know. Is that the one that the Dallas Cowboys use, or I think
Yes.
yeah, because Jerry Jones is on that, and it's about, like I said again, it's about bringing in the people that are not the fans. You think about it, if someone like if Dax, if he could date someone like I was trying to think, who's the biggest singer or celebrity right now? If he dates one of those like top level celebrities, then you bring more fans for the Cowboys. Like with how when Russell Wilson is married to Sierra, picked a little more fans than that. Or when they kind of changed, when back in the day, the Super Bowl halftime show used to be up with people or some kind of marching band, but you have these top level celebrities now. Just had Usher one year, you had Snoop Dogg, you had I think Lady Gaga one time. I mean, they're still talking about the whole thing with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. But hey, I don't blame Janet as much as I blame Justin. He's the one who pulled the top off. Anything, if you go to I think he still go to the Lakers games. Jack Nicholson, he still goes to Lakers games and sits courtside. Celebrities bring the people who follow them because they like them. They're fans. Not as much as the athletes as they are at the celebrities that go to these events.
Now this is what boxing has come to today. Is this going to happen more and more and more, or are we going to start to see the fights that mean something? What do you think?
It's a business thing. If you promoters, think about it, like Don King, he probably would jump on this if still manager Mike, or whoever else who wants to see, because Jake is, as I said again, he's popular. He's bringing in these. His fan base are good number are going to be young to be like 18 to about 30. Also women and people who never were boxing fans. We didn't grow up like us watching boxing back in the day on television. He's bringing in a fan base, and a promotion would jump on that for opportunity to make money. How much are we gonna make money from ticket sales and pay-per-view?
Like you said, bro, it's a business.
Mm-hmm. And to me, it's gonna like this. Jake Paul look at the episode. Remember the episode of Martin when he fought Thomas Hearns, the hitman? He's gonna be like, he be at home with his girl, says, "Is the swelling gone down?" It's gonna look like that.
Bro, celebrity boxing's been going on forever. When I was watching boxing in the late '70s, man, the football player Ed Too Tall Jones, he came into boxing, and his first professional fight was on CBS Sports Spectacular. I mean, it's a freak world. You remember Mark Gastineau, the baseball player? He was a boxer.
Mickey Rourke.
I think they fought each other today.
Yeah, Danny Bonaducci. There was a certain boxing show used to be on Fox. You had China against Joey
Buttafuoco.
I mean, come on. Even if China, if she was the old, more bigger, she probably wouldn't do as good. But still, because she's a woman, she's not a trained boxer, she's a wrestler. It's just people like that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities that do boxing as a hobby, but never took it serious. I think everything changed. I think the person you can really blame it on, and even though I'm a fan of his, is Sylvester Stallone, the Rocky movies. I think it inspired people they want to be Rocky.
Who's that? The Rock?
No, Rocky. Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, Rocky. Oh, yeah, man. Rocky definitely revitalized boxing. That was back in 1976, man. And there was not one champion in boxing that was American back then. Oh, there was one, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Every other title was held by a foreigner. And we just had the 76 Olympics, and we won, what did we win? 7 or 8 gold medals in there. It was like the most decorated boxing team. And we fought the Cubans, we fought the Russians. It wasn't a watered down team. It was full ahead. And that's when Sugar Ray Leonard came out, the Spinks brothers came out. I mean, it was boxing. It brought boxing back to America, and that's when the Rocky movies took off. Everybody loved those Rocky movies, man. You know, in those Rocky movies, you know, they featured modern fighters. The movie was based on, they say, Chuck Wepner
Yeah.
fighting with Ali, and you look at Apollo Creed, man. He just passed away recently.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers, yeah, man. He was just like Muhammad Ali. They tried to make him just like Ali. They had Joe Frazier in the ring at the first fight, picking up a little bit of heat going on in there. But yeah, man, Rocky definitely revitalized boxing in America. And you know, people say that that Sylvester Stallone shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. That more people are worthy of it, but he's not in the category that Ali and Riddick Bowe and Roy Jones. He's not in that category. Not even in the non-participant. He's in the contributors category. It's what he contributed to boxing, and he definitely contributed something that I don't know who else has ever made boxing that popular. Everybody wanted to be like Rocky back then. Everybody was jogging around. They had kids chasing them. I mean, it was nuts. It was insane.
Like the Ayo Rock, yo, Mick cut me. People, I watch all the last one, Rocky Balboa, not as much. The Creed movies I really get onto because but the first 5, I just those are classics for me. But I do love that part in Rocky Balboa when he says like, it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can take the hits and keep moving forward. I use it when I do my interviews, especially I talk to these ladies that are in bodybuilding and say, hey, it's about how hard you take the hit, keep moving forward because life is tough. And it's really he's inspirational. I mean, you hear that music, dun 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 dun. You feel like I have a. When I used to work out. I used to, because I've been problems with my knees for a while now, and I used to have my treadmill on the bike, and I used to have this song. It was like somebody took it. It was a Rocky, it was like Rocky mixed together and kind of made it real like kind of electronic. I'll send you a link to it when I get a chance. And it was just inspirational when you hear it, and you hear like you hear Sylvester Stallone in the music, and then you hear him talking, and you hear the and it's just you hear that that da 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 da. It makes you want to push a little more.
I hear you, bro. I mean, definitely inspiration. I must have seen the Rocky movies, man. Tons of times, each one of them. And when Adrian wakes up out of that coma, and she says win, and it's like ba ba ba. I mean, dude, what's more inspirational than that?
Yeah, I think the saddest part when Mick died is yo Mick, you can't leave me, Mick. Because you seem just Mick was like a father figure for him. He said, "Yeah, Rock, I didn't want you to fight this guy because he has the eye of the tiger. He's hungry, Rock." And Burt Mitchell, great actor. People might remember him as Mick, but also I grew up with him as a penguin from the old Batman Robin series. So
yeah. Fucking
I mean,
Rich Meredith, he's a classic. He's an Oscar winning. When he was the Penguin, that was so funny. He had that cigar in he had a cigarette with a cigarette holder. He'd be waddling around, man. Back in the '60s, that was. How old are you, George?
I'm gonna be 50 this year.
All right, bro. So you're a veteran of the game, man. It's a pleasure to meet you, bro. Because I've seen you around a lot in different chat rooms, and we salute each other. But it's cool having you on the panel, my man.
Well, yeah, I come through here every now and then, certain when I listen to your stuff, and you talk about stuff that really touch, especially growing up as a kid, about boxing. Like it used to be, legends like you got Marvin Hagler right there in the back behind you, and great fights like Ali and Frazier, Gotti and Ward. I mean, those were real, you know, men that fight for legacy. But like I said, boxing, I don't really watch it much like I used to. Like I said, I do watch it more. I'm not every now and then people who's fighting. I don't follow guys like Ryan Garcia. You know, I call him like that. That's what he is. He's a girl, and you know, it's just that. And so again, MMA does give it the fights that we want to see. I'm not, like I said again, I'm not a big fan of Dana White Peter Beater as a person, but he gets the stuff the fights we want to see. But sometimes he does every now and then. Excuse my language, so he does fuck up, and it does make some messes, and but if boxing can really, reason why one thing boxing don't take MMA seriously because the fact is the pay scale. What the highest paid MMA fighter right now is like guys like Conor McGregor or Francis Ngannou. They were even compared to guys who are not even ranked and who don't even have a title, still make more money than them. But boxing is an old sport. It's been around for a long time. But like anything that starts off in good intentions, often be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, and the thing about boxing with me now, I retired about 7 years ago, and before that, I was, I had my own business for 15 years, and I had to marry that business, because it's tough when you're not getting a paycheck every week, and you got to make sure other people are getting a paycheck before you, and I mean it took my concentration away where I couldn't get into boxing like I did earlier when I was working for other people and I was 9 to 5 weekends off and that shit. When I was in the business world, I just couldn't follow it like I do now. And now I'm on it like, man, tonight there's going to be fights on ESPN. Um, Steve Rolls, and some other cat. I can't even remember the names right now. But I mean, I got a passion in boxing, and the boxing I grew up with, man. I grew up through the Ali era. I saw the Frazier fights. I saw the Foreman fights, man. After that, I saw Larry Holmes's reign. I saw the Mike Tyson come and go. And I mean, dude, it's just that I had such a knowledge before I had to break away from it. And when I broke away from it, I still watched all the fights, but I couldn't do it like I do now. And especially now with the internet, everybody knows everything about a fighter, how much they make, who their manager is, who their trainer is, who their girlfriend is. I mean, it's crazy. You're just so immersed in things besides just the actual fights. But man, I love it, and I like coming up here and sharing it, asking questions, meeting cats like you, George. I mean, it's to me, it's a whole new dimension in boxing, bro. It's a whole new world for me, and I like it.
Yeah, I think social media has really become very popular, especially with the young folks. Like I'm on here on YouTube. I have my YouTube channel. I have an IG on Facebook. I even have a TikTok. I wasn't much for it, but ever since I was working for a good while myself. I had 2 jobs, got sick, took care of my mom. She's gone, and I just said, you know what? I need something to keep my mind and myself busy. So I started doing these. I was already doing the content before, but then I started doing the interviews. I got one tomorrow with a lovely lady. She's a competitive bodybuilder. I got a couple more next weekend. I also do live streams. It's just something, if you find something that you really have a passion for and you enjoy it, then you should do it. That's why I do the content on bodybuilding. I do some on combat sports every now and then. I talk about some boxing. I talk about some mixed martial arts, especially the women, because that's the stuff that they need more attention. Because the men get most of the attention. Like I said, Manus Round, I'm a fan of hers, and she's supposed to be making a return back to MMA in a couple of months. Saw Krista Shields in her last fight. It was kind of she still needs some more time to work with. I was watching one lady who I follow, Chris Cyborg, because she been calling Chris Cyborg out and tell her that they lose that booty, but Chris Shield cannot lose that booty. There's too much of it. But like I said, when you find something you enjoy yourself, do it. You should have fun with it. When it gets too much of a job, it's not fun anymore.
George, you mentioned bodybuilding, bro. I was big into bodybuilding back in the day. Tell me tell me a little bit about your favorite bodybuilders and a little bit about that sport.
Well, when I was growing up, I was coming up around, but my brother used to collect magazines when I was younger, and I was going at the tail end of Arnold Schwarzenegger's career when he retired after his last Olympia. I followed guys like Lee Haney, Lee Labrada, Samantha Benutz. I mean, I remember Arnold Apple Beckles, and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah.
But as I got into my teenage years, I got more into the women, like people like Rachel McLeod, Corey Everson, Angela Langer. I wasn't a big Linda Murray fan, but I did like her physique. She's doing pretty good now. What she's doing, she just had a 62 birthday just a few months ago, and I find that the sport. It's like I said, they just finished last week. It had Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. That's the biggest show in bodybuilding, next to the Olympia. I don't talk about it because of the fact I'm not a fan of Arnold for what he's done to women's bodybuilding. There was a show called The Mr. International. It was one of the most popular pro level bodybuilding shows in the IFBB. They kicked it out of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, but it predates the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. It was around a lot longer than the Arnold show was. They kicked it out about it's going to be 11 years this coming, I think, this year. And then he eventually kicked out some more women's divisions. The only left is like I call them there's fitness, which has been around just as long as women's bodybuilding. There's a bikini, and there's a division called wellness. And the wellness girls, if he's all you gotta do is put on a shirt for wellness, they are built like they're more like bottom heavy, but still they have good amount of muscle, you know. And bodybuilding is a tough sport because you even though you have all this muscle, your body still is like almost you almost can make yourself obese because your body can't tell the difference between muscle and fat. And I just posted on my social media a young lady. She is a figure competitor. Figure is a different division from women's bodybuilding. It's a totally different look, but it's still bodybuilding. She passed away. She was like in her 40s. She's a mother. She had a husband, and I just posted on her a GoFundMe. And every so often we had like a bunch of deaths. People do die in the sport, because of the heart issues. A friend of mine, he's a pro bodybuilder. He just got out of the hospital because he had got the C19 and he had some issues with his heart. One guy I just saw, he may not make it to a show because of heart issues. And then I saw one legendary bodybuilder passed away just a couple of days ago. It's like even in boxing, that people die in the ring.
Yeah, but see, with bodybuilding drugs are very, very important in that sport, especially at the high level. You get into the NPC, Mr. Olympia. The anabolic steroids aren't even tested for. They test for diuretics more than they do for steroids. But, remember Lee Priest? Lee Priest tried to compete in there without using steroids. I think it was in 98, 99. He was sponsored by Pro Labs, and he just looked so flat and so. He didn't look like he belonged on stage with the rest of the Olympians, because you had the guys like Nasa Sanabate, John Pierre Fuchs, Dennis Wolf, and Ronnie Coleman. God, have you seen Ronnie Coleman lately, bro?
Yes, yeah. He's people like him because you know what he got a lot of memes with him going, yeah, buddy, yeah. He's a legend because he dated one of my favorite bodybuilders. That was Vicky Gates. They used to date, because you remember he was a cop.
Oh yeah. Ronnie was a sheriff in Arlington, Texas.
Yeah. They were cops.
They both were.
Yeah.
But Ronnie can't walk anymore. Ronnie needs a wheelchair. It breaks my heart when I see that shit. And I see the guys like Nasser El Sanabate, 35, and he's dead with a heart attack. A friend of mine, Jerry Ward, he used to have a YouTube channel. He had 70,000 followers. Good friend of mine. I used to train with him back in the 90s. And I went looking him up maybe a year ago. He died. It's incredible. David Jumbo Palumbo, you know Dave Palumbo?
Yeah, Dave Palumbo. I interviewed a couple of ladies that he coached. I know he while back he was in the hospital for I think heart issues. Remember Schwarzenegger? He was in the hospital not long ago because they replaced a valve on him.
Because you're abusing these steroids and they're making every organ in your body bigger, and when you get off cycle, your organs are still pumping blood to your heart's still pumping blood to organs that are half the size. So there's so much, they call it endocrinological or whatever. Anyway, it's a sad sport. I used to follow bodybuilding big, man. I was in North American Bodybuilding Federation, NABF. I'm a certified judge in that federation. It's a natural federation, and man, those cats weren't natural.
No.
I used to hang with these guys when they were doing their deals in the bathroom at the gym back, before I became an official in the federation. But bodybuilding is like the dirtiest sport out there, man. It should be the cleanest, but it's the dirtiest.
Well, like steroids I know gets a lot more attention, but you got to think about it. There's more steroid use in stuff like track and field in the mainstream sports. But the fact is, yes, it is, sir. But there's something we might disagree on. But because bodybuilding gets more of that stink eye, and it's also it's because it's a sport where you do have to use steroids, but some don't use as much. You have to if you have you have to use certain levels because you like say one thing natural bodybuilders they say they're natural. But some things when you look at natural compared to what these people take, is a totally different look. There's a bunch of organizations as OCB is a natural organization, Invulates who compete in the PCA, that's another organization. But and there's also this WBFF, which is it's more of a models kind of thing organization. But the reason why the IFBB is so popular because people like the big freaky guys like the guys like Heidi Chopin, they like the Derek Lungfords, the Nick Walkers. This guy Samuel Dua, that's the guy I was talking about. He may not be able to make it the All Super Classic.
No, yeah, he's from back in the 80s. That was the Lebanese Lion.
Yeah, well,
but see, the thing is, man, it's a circus. Those guys, they're pumped with so many drugs because people want to see these freaks on stage. Nobody pays attention to anything but the Olympia. Nobody pays attention to the NPC, the WBBF. Nobody knows what those are except hardcore fans like yourself.
Yeah,
it's Mr. Olympia. That's where the money is, and that's where these fucking guys pump themselves so full of drugs that by the time they're 40 and 50, they end up with diabetes. They end up with like Ronnie Coleman. I mean, Ronnie Coleman. Did you see? And when he made his when he won his first Mr. Olympia, I think it was like 1998.
I think I missed that one. I know he started about the 90s, right after Dorian Yates retired.
Yes, Olympia. It was the year Dorian Yates retired, and Ronnie Coleman was always in the pack. He was like in the top 10. But he could never crack the top 5. But all of a sudden, the year that Dorian Yates retired, Ronnie Coleman comes walking on stage, looked like an elephant. He looked like an elephant walking amongst gorillas. He was that much bigger. And he, hands down, he beat Flex Wheeler. He beat Nasser El Sanabate. He beat Sean Ray. All the guys that they predicted were going to be the next Olympia after Dorian Yates. And you know why? Because he was fucking pumping himself up with more drugs than they have in a fucking CVS.
Yeah,
I was in the game back then, bro. I hung with these cats. Craig the Body Liquor, man. He was from the next state over from Miami. Jay Cutler used to come to my gym all the time. And I mean, these guys, they're in this fucking game, bro.
I have a story of a friend told me about Jay Cutler, and and it's wild. I may not want to say it, but it's just wild stories. But a lot of these guys, like a guy like Kai Green, he was very popular, but he just didn't. I don't know what it was. He just couldn't go over the edge and get to that.
The judges didn't like him. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, Flex Wheeler. You remember Flex Wheeler? He had to lose. He lost one of his legs. Yeah. I mean, I said
that's what happened when you take growth hormone. You have to take insulin. Your body becomes insulin dependent. You stop. You don't get the circulation to your limbs, and that's what happened to our boy Flex Wheeler. One of the greatest in the world, man. One of the aesthetically pleasing, one of the greatest shapes in all of bodybuilding.
Yeah, I was in contact with one lady. Her name was Melissa Coates. She was a bodybuilder out of Canada. She competed for a good few years. She's been to Olympia, I think, once. And then after that, she left bodybuilding, started acting, and did some wrestling. And this was about 2 or 3 years ago. She lost. She had issues with veins in her legs. She lost one of her legs, and then she was trying to make a comeback. She used to manage Sabu, used to wrestle, and she was doing all right. She did a little bit. I even sent her a care package because a lady I interviewed who passed away, who was a friend of hers, she got connected with me. I sent her a care package. She sent me an email. She thanked me for the care package. She asked me how I got the stuff and say, I'm down here in North Carolina. We can get things next to cheap sometimes. And you know, just before maybe a day after her birthday, she died. And when I heard about it, I said, "Oh my God," because I was trying to get on and maybe do an interview with her in the future. But yeah, it's just a lot to do, and especially a lot of athletes. There was this social science said of this: if you give Olympic level athlete a choice, they could win all the gold medals and set all the records they want, but they take this pill, but the sacrifice is you lose 5 years off their life. They asked the athletes, and they all said yes, they would take that pill. If that is
Oh
just for
yeah.
5 years.
Oh yeah, I know that mentality, bro. Like I said, I hung with those guys. They don't care about tomorrow. It's only today. It's a fucking crazy society, the world of hardcore bodybuilding. And
Hmm.
I mean, it evolves around drugs, man. It's when these guys get together, you know what they talk about? The next cycle, the next cutting edge diuretic, how they can gain 5 pounds of muscle in the next 2 months. I mean, these guys are fucking nuts. That's why I had to get away from it. I had to break away from the bodybuilding world, man. Because I was getting involved in it myself. You're on a scale every day. You're weighing every ounce of food you put in your body. You're religious to taking supplements on a daily basis. I mean, I actually still live the life, bro. I drink nothing but water. I don't drink any caffeine. I don't drink any alcohol. I don't drink any juice. I don't drink any soda. I drink water all day long, man. Even in the morning, I don't have a cup of coffee. I have a protein shake. That's the first thing I have. I have whey protein and yogurt. Mix that together. And I mean, I've been doing that for 30 years. That's the way to stay healthy. But you start pumping all these drugs in you, lifting these crazy, insane weights. That's what causes a short career, short life, and a short career.
Yeah, but like I said, like I said, I try to drink more water, but sometimes water gets a little boring. You want some a little flavor, a little kick. I don't drink coffee. Never been much for coffee. My mom used to love it, and a lot of bodybuilders who I follow, they love their coffee. They mix it with the
Yeah.
shakes and the proteins. Yeah, it keeps them going. I mean,
It's the
like
speed, bro. They love speed. Do you remember the nutritional supplement hydroxycut? It was real big back in the day.
yeah, I
And
think I remember that.
and they had they called it ECA stack. It was ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin. You took it together. You took it when you were cutting. That was just a natural thing. And bodybuilders, a lot of them I know, they used to take it on a regular basis. They would before they trained, boom, ephedrine, caffeine. Go to the fucking Dunkin' Donuts and buy the 24-ounce coffee, iced coffee. Be sipping on that all day. But yeah, man, I mean, the only thing you should be putting in your body is water. It makes a big difference, man. You should try that. Give it the 30-day water challenge. Drink nothing but water for 30 days, and you're going to see the difference in a lot of things that happen in your body, bodily functions, the softness. I don't have any hair on top, but the hair is softer. You let your body odor is not as strong. I mean, really, it's amazing what cutting out a lot of additives, a lot of sugars, a lot of caffeines, alcohol. You eliminate those things from a month and just drink water, and man, it's unbelievable the difference the changes in your body. I challenge anybody to try that, and you can have your money back at the end of 30 months. You can have your sluggish body back, but try drinking water, man. It is an amazing thing. It really is, man.
Yeah, I drink much. I think I drink a lot more water in the last few years I have because most of the time I was like at work and sometimes, you want something to give you a kick, keep it, so especially when you're working all day. But yeah, I drink a lot more water. Not as much, but I try to, like I said, I like to have something a little, little flavor to it. Or I buy some kind of well, a friend told me, and I think a Big Duke said like give yourself some lemon and stuff like that,
Big
and
Duke,
I do that.
big,
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Big Duke. And I do that. I might put a little lemon or something, lime like that. But then sometimes you still want that little bit of something sweet to it. And and I'm from the South, and sometimes we like our tea.
yes, sir. See, with me, if I want to get something to pick me up, I'll get the sativa variety. If I want something to cruise with me all day, I'll get a nice hybrid. At night, I get a nice sativa. This is the only mind altering substance I allow in my body. I drink water. I don't take any drugs. I don't take any antidepressants, any anti-anxiety. I take nothing. I take a multivitamin. I take extra vitamin C. I take a something called cadmium. It's a memory supplement. It contains silk protein. And I take Buswala and Turmac for joint mobility. And these are a lot of things I was taking when I was bodybuilding. The only things I don't take anymore. I don't take the anabolic things. I don't take the creatine, the glutamine. Nothing like an anabolic steroid. But there's one thing I do take, George. I'm 69 and my doctor prescribes me testosterone replacement. And the stuff that he prescribes me, the testosterone, is exactly the same thing that you would use. It's the same shit we used to buy back in the day, except I take it in a much smaller dose and it's at a much longer duration. But it's the same thing, man. Testosterone is testosterone. And it keeps me younger, I think, man. I mean, my wife has to keep me back with a fucking baseball bat. So, because I go after her with the baseball bat. But the point is, it's the same thing. I mean, I got needles. I got the testosterone. If I was 40 years younger, they think I was training for competition. Really, man, it's crazy how. See, there's so many good things in bodybuilding that people can take out and add to their regular lives, like eating clean protein, eating the clean carbohydrates, the vegetables, staying away from the sugars, staying away from the high fatty foods, the processed foods. That's all part of natural bodybuilding. And I bring that into my life today, man. These are the things that I take with it. The things I don't take with it are the insane gym sessions I used to have. Eating massive amounts of protein, 5 meals a day, slamming down 2 or 3 protein shakes a day, waking up in the middle of the night and drinking protein. That was another crazy thing. But hey, we live and we learn, brother.
Yeah, like I said, when I talk to these ladies, sometimes the workouts can be tough. They have to really push themselves because they want to have that look. Muscle graininess, especially for the women, because most of the content is on the women. You're changing your aspects, what people consider is feminine, and and you got to remember, women have more body fat than men. If they get down to a certain percent, that does affect their ability to have children. Affects their looks. Sometimes women can get very kind of masculine looking. We talked about this on my channel a while back. The people have called how women get so masculine. Even divisions where you have like this bikini division, those are supposed to be more, aesthetically pleasing, but those girls have muscle more than if you see the girls in like you go to like the old beauty pageant shows, they have more muscle development than those women. And they tell those girls, hey, we want you to come a little more softer, a little more feminine, yeah. But then, like I said again, it's evolutions in athletes. Remember how football started? It started out with guys wearing leather helmets, and then it evolved over the years. And you look at the guys now in the NFL, they make the guys who used to play back in the day look like kindergartners.
There was a bodybuilder. She was a Miss Olympia. Her name was Kim Krzyzewski. You remember her?
Yes, I know Kim Krzyzewski. She was 4-time Miss Olympia. Her and her husband, they promote shows. Yeah, and she had a great look. She was the one who had the most wins over. She's the first one to beat Linda Murray for the title.
Yes. See, but what I'm saying is, after that, she went back down to fitness. She stopped taking the drugs. She lost all her muscle, and she competed in fitness. Did you know that?
Yeah, she did fitness and she did figure. She didn't do it as well as fitness, and then she did over the figure. And to me, this is where, especially as a bodybuilding fan, that was a slap in the face because you were the 4-time Miss Olympia. You walked away from bodybuilding, and then you come back and do a fitness and figure. And but she's moved on. And you look at her now. I think she's about 60. She's
an old lady. Yeah. But what I was saying is, I thought she was sexier when she was Miss Olympia than she was when she was doing fitness. I thought she looked good with. I mean, she has a horse face. Let's face it. I mean, she's got a face that you're either gonna love it or hate it. But I thought she was hot, and I thought she had. I thought she was popping with those big muscles. And then when she went down to fitness, I think she had a breast reduction too. I mean, it was she did not turn me on after that. I kind of liked her when she was drugging and lifting heavy. Hey, Mick Smith, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, wait to see it now. She looks pretty good, because like I said, her and her husband, they have two sons. Her sons are grown up now. I think they were. I think her oldest son, he was in an argument with Sean Ray at the last Olympia about a couple years back. That kid is like he's 6 foot something. I mean, he played football in high school. I don't know if he ever played in college, but yeah, Kim, had a great look. People, like I said, she had the look that they really liked. And then after that last Olympia, she was married at the time. She wanted to, settle down, have her kids, and that's why she walked away from bodybuilding and did fitness and figure for a half a minute because she still want to compete. But she was the only lady who had beat Lindbergh twice for the title. She was kind of the golden
Well,
girl.
you know who
There
she
was
was
one girl
married
who
to?
came close to Chad Nichols.
Chad Nichols, and Chad Nichols was the nutritional
That's right.
guru.
Yeah,
I mean, Chad Nichols had people like Ronnie Coleman as one of his clients. He had Sean Ray. He had Dexter Gordon. He was the man who would put together the diets and also he would put together the cycles. So Chad Nichols, man, Chad Nichols made he would turn a woman into a man. That's how much of a fucking a pharmaceutical guru Chad Nichols was, and he experimented on Linda on Chad on Kim Shashesky on his wife. I mean, she went from so many crazy different looks, and it was all drugs. And that's what I'm saying, man. These are people who made money and can make a living on it, but other competitors at lower levels, it's a nasty, tough sport, man. I've seen them selling their bodies to put it politely, uh, dancing in gay clubs. I mean, it's a dirty sport, man. These guys they're in a lifestyle where they sleep till noontime. They eat like fucking crazy. They need money to do it, and they don't want to work. I can't think of any bodybuilders too many that I know of that want to hold on a job, man. They just want to train all day. It's a crazy lifestyle, and that's why a lot of these people don't live long, man. It's a tough fucking lifestyle. It's fucking nuts.
well, it's a sport because you know what, the cost of their training like that, and most time it's hard to hold a whole time job if you can. I know some people do have full time jobs who compete in bodybuilding, but others they bodybuilding is in their mindset is their job. And there's like I said, it's not a lot of unless you as amateur in NPC where you're amateur at, you don't make a lot of money. And the only way you can make money is like I said, like things like OnlyFans, like some ladies do. There's a lot of guys who are like into men bodybuilding who are gay, and sometimes they make their money on the back end from that. They do video sessions. They sell their like the story of one guy, so how he sold some of his shirts and stuff to a guy. He's always buying this stuff because hey, when it's used, it's like I said, if it was like a mainstream sport, like the mainstream
But
sports like
bro,
football,
bro, bro,
basketball.
is it a sport or is it a pageant?
Well, if you look at it one way, you think about it, pageants, you don't really have to train too much.
What are you
You know,
talking about, man?
you
Those
do,
Miss
like
Americans, they're trained since they were 6 years old. Their mothers got them
yeah,
in
yeah,
fucking
but to
gym,
walk and to move like that, but yeah,
and
but
they have
still,
to diet. They have to diet just like a bodybuilder. They can't have a
still
piece of cake. They have to have the raisin on top of the cake, man. I mean, it's.
yeah,
But I've been around bodybuilding long enough to where it's a sport to a degree in the gym, but being a competitive bodybuilder, that's a pageant. You got to go out. You got to buy special trunks. You have to go get a fucking wax. You have to shave the body. I mean, it's fucked up, bro. And you don't make any money at it too. Like you were saying, they have to have OnlyFans page. They have to go and dance in strip joints. You think that's a normal way to make a living and to be a competitor in the sport, bro?
yeah. But you got to think about it. There are people now in these sports that like I've been in contact with. I know women in mixed martial arts that do OnlyFans. That's a very popular platform because it's a way to make money. because there's a fetish for it. There were stories of even Olympic level competitors who were trying to need sponsorships for to go to the Olympics. So they did they didn't do anything crazy other than foot stuff or maybe just some modeling stuff. Sometimes you don't have to go.
What is OnlyFans, man? I'm not even sure I know what it is. Is it like porno stuff? Do they show their titties? No.
Well, it's all depending because even they have a certain limit what they can show. Yes, there's porn on it, but also some ladies who I follow, they don't do a lot of X-rated, R-rated stuff. It's modeling, also talking sessions. You can pay for the women's time in conversations. It's been around for quite some time. Actually, it came from a thing called Backpage. You remember Backpage?
No.
It was a thing called Backpage, where a lot of chicks were.
I can imagine what they are. I just never, I wasn't involved in the internet back then. Even now, I just don't go on to. I don't go on to these interactive like you pay for sites. What is it called again?
There's video chats. There's OnlyFans.
OnlyFans is the big one.
Yeah, it's the big one. It's the biggest one.
That's no way for an athlete to make money. I mean, it's kind of tough, bro.
Yeah, but like I said, especially if you got to think about it, some of these athletes who it's hard to get spent. Like like I said again, Chris Cyborg, who I follow, OnlyFans is one of her sponsors. They have sponsored fights. They have sponsored other athletes because it's a way it's becoming a big platform. And like I said, social media, it's it's really gonna be dominant. It's gonna be for this generation. It's the big thing now. You don't have to be a professional athlete. There have been stories of teachers, people working with regular jobs who do OnlyFans. They don't, like I said, they don't do anything really crazy. Just something that like say foot fetish stuff. Just don't have to be all sex. Just something that people have a fetish for.
And how come it's going to be the bodybuilders that have to do it, man? Because they don't, it's fucked up.
Well, like I said,
people want it. There's fetishes for everything out there, but man, it's funny that it comes down on people on sports, on bodybuilders, man. Like we're just talking about them, and my whole thing is, it's a pretty dead end sport. We think boxing is messed up. We think boxing doesn't have a pension plan and retirement and this and that. Bodybuilding is even the worst, man. I'd rather see my kid get into fucking boxing than bodybuilding, bro.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Bruce, I can't say much longer. I gotta head out. And I do appreciate talking with you. But yeah, this is, like I said again, it's a tough sport. It's a lot of money you put into it. If you're lucky, if you get sponsored or who gets to win, like just saw a few days ago, Arnold has announced that he's gonna push up for men's open bodybuilding. For the prize money, it's gonna be $500,000, which will probably, as Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic is the second biggest show in bodybuilding next year Olympia. The Olympia's prize money for this year is $400,000.
So really? They haven't cracked $1 million yet, huh?
No, I cracked $1 million, because what a lot of the money comes from sponsors and promoters and like that, and they throw, like a lot of these companies throw money. If you think about it, if you can get a name brand company to get into bodybuilding, you can really make a big difference. But they don't want to get involved because of the steroid thing. But thank you, Mr. Bruce, for having me on. I appreciate talking to you. I'll tell you, everybody out there, come check out my man, Mr. Bruce. He's knowledge about boxing. Also, he has a little knowledge about bodybuilding. I appreciate that because I get to learn.
Hey, George, a pleasure having you here, man. Thank you much for coming on.
No problem. All right. Keep the faith. And once again, Mike Tyson is going to kill that boy. He's going to put Jake Paul in the shower. He's going to be like Martin, like, is this swelling go down? Thank you again, Mr. Bruce. Good afternoon. Good night.
Peace, brother. Amen. This is what boxing is all about. If this can get more fans to our sport, I'm absolutely for it, my brother. I'm absolutely for it. His name is All the Rage George Page. Hey, George, if you're out there, you want to drop your channel link in the chat, brother, do that, and you pick up a few subs, man, because that's what it's all about on here. And, hey, listen to a little news in the background and talk a little bit of boxing and bodybuilding and nutrition and whatever it may be. But I came on here to talk about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul on July 20th, man, in Texas. And I'm for it, man. I'm all for it. I grew up with Mike Tyson. We know it's not going to be a real war. It's not going to be like the anticipation of Mike Tyson and Leon and Michael Spinks. It's not a unification. But anyway, man, it's a big fight coming up, and it'll probably go the distance. It'll probably end up as a draw. That's what they do with most of these celebrity fights because they don't want to hurt each other. They just want to get some dough in their pockets, stay relevant in the sport, and it's going to be fun. Make sure you come see me tomorrow at this time, man. I'm going to be calling the fights in Saudi Arabia, man. Riyadh is going to be in Bruce Gass's channel tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the Nagano. We're going to be covering it, man. The whole card. I'm going to start at noontime. If it comes on a little earlier, then I'll flip it on a little earlier. But aside from that, man, 57 right now, Con. I appreciate all you cats coming in here once again, man. We're going to do it again real soon. I'm going to start doing these pop-up lives because I want to pick up some watch time hours. I do a lot of sharing on other people's shows, and I don't get my watch hours credited to me. So thank you all for coming in. Make sure you hit the like button. If you want to share it, I appreciate that too, man. Anybody on Facebook, thank you for coming in and giving me the heart and the thumbs up, and on YouTube and on X, formerly known as Twitter. This is Bruce Gass. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one, man.
Shout out Bruce Gas, aka Token 2. You know I had to drop a track with my boy. Yeah, been here wrestling boys out here to the face. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, Bruce Gas put the number fights on the table. I'm calling that Boston since Kane versus Abel. Score Bruce Gas, you would think that shit was favorites. I know he was champion like Muhammad Ali. Shut up, Bruce Gas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Token 2. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the pick. Little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shut up, man, chat, real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the pan. Strapped to my side, and I ain't talking about no sandwich. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Hey, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like Bruce Gas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this a fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the street, you gotta do it for the game. Said that on the street, you gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.